way that's difficult to say. You really don't.
Hey, just give it to me straight. I came a long way just to see you, Mary. Just, least you can do is level with me. What are my chances?
Not good.
You mean not good, like 1 out of 100?
I'd say more like 1 out of 1,000,000.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
One of the greatest scenes in cinematic history. I suppose Country House, when his owners entered into the Kentucky Derby as a 65-1 long shot, and they told him, you could win this race, he might have said that. So you're telling me there's a chance. If you'd have bet $100 on him, you'd have won over $6,000. Halfway through the NHL season this year, if you had said to the St. Louis Blues, you're going to win Stanley Cup, they might have said, so you're telling me there's a chance. Scott Barry thought there was a chance. He bet $400 on him back then, and he ended up winning $100,000. No one thought the Toronto Raptors were going to win the NBA. They were considered plus 400 underdogs, which means that if you bet $100 on them, you win $400, and they won. No one thought Gary Woodland would win the U.S. Open Golf Championship at 65-1 odds. Tell me there's a chance. See, we all know that if you're in a contest, as long as you're in, you've got a chance. You can win. And if you have an opponent, you could lose, no matter how good you are. See, nobody was surprised when the New England Patriots won the Super Bowl. But who predicted Country House? The St. Louis Blues and the Raptors with Gary Woodland. That's why we actually play the game, because extensive computer analysis can't account for the emotion and the energy that someone brings into a contest. How does a team like the Seattle Mariners ever win the World Series? They've never even been there. They're only one of only 2 teams that have never been there. The odds are heavily against them, and you can talk to them, and they would say, you're telling me there's a chance. Now, it helps to have some of the best players, but they don't. But as we know, as long as they're in the contest, there's a chance. Now, assuming that to be true, that as long as they're in the contest, there's a chance, I think they need to do 2 things to win. One is they need to train and practice. Because even the best players can't win on their good looks and reputation. Natural talent will only take them so far. Winning teams train and practice. The second thing they need to do is to eliminate things that interfere with winning. You know, I'm a Cub fan, you probably know that. The 2018 Chicago Cubs were disappointing. They have many of the same players that won the World Series a couple of years ago. They had a terrible season overall. Joe Madden, the manager, said the reason is their guys didn't take it seriously. They stayed, especially on away trips, they stayed up late and drank a lot. He said he was cracking down on them this year. So no more of that, boys, because there's a chance. Last week we talked about how the New Testament writers used athletic metaphors to describe the Christian life. Christian living, they said, it's like being in a contest or a race. As long as you're in the race, you have a chance of winning, but you also have a chance to lose. So we're always going to have to struggle to win. That's the consequence of original sin. We have to fight just to overcome sin and to do our part of it. Winning means becoming and being mature disciples of Christ. We have an eternal, heavenly, glorious prize. But the odds are against us winning. Except that God loves us so much, and He wants us to win. So He gives us that wild card, the Holy Spirit. And in the words of that cultural philosopher, Lloyd Christmas, you're telling me there's a chance. Yeah, I'm telling you there's a chance. In fact, I'm telling you, we can win this contest with sin because we have the Holy Spirit. Jesus said, If you love me, you will obey what I command. And I will ask the Father, and he will give you another counselor to be with you forever, the Spirit of truth. The world cannot accept him because it neither sees him nor knows him. But you know him. He lives in you. He will be with you all. If you love me, you will obey what I command. That's our part. That's about Christian living. That's about becoming and being mature disciples of Christ. It isn't done, though, just on our own ability. We have the Holy Spirit to help us. He helps us understand sin and righteousness and judgment so that we can avoid sin. And he helps us know the truth so that we can walk in the truth and we can be like the truth. And like an athlete cannot win on his or her own talent only, a Christian cannot win simply. We have to contribute. We have a responsibility to compete in this race. We have an opponent who wants us to lose. And as we saw last week, that means that we're always going to struggle. It's always going to be a fight. We're going to have to fight for our faith. We're going to have to battle against the foe. We're going to have to compete to win. But we have the Holy Spirit to help us. So we have a chance. But in order to win, now we have to compete. See, God will do what He can. He won't do what we won't. This morning, we're going to look at two texts in which we are encouraged to do the same two things that I just said a little bit ago that a team has to do. It says we need to train and practice, and we need to eliminate the things that interfere. So we're going to start with 1 Corinthians 9, verse 25. Paul staying with this athletic metaphor. He said, do you not know that in a race all the runners run? Of course, he's thinking, but only one gets the prize. So run in such a way as to get the prize. Everyone who competes in the game goes into strict training in all things. If they do it, you get a crown that will last, or will not last. When we do it, we get a crown that will last forever. If you intend to get that crown that lasts forever, and you're probably smart enough to know we're talking about eternal life in heaven, then your life should be described like this, that you fight and compete against sin, against your own natural worldly tendencies to go your own way instead of God's way, and you train and you discipline yourself. That's what it takes to enjoy a victorious Christian life. In fact, Paul used another athletic metaphor when he was writing to Timothy. He said, train yourself to be godly. We looked at that a few weeks ago. We looked at gymnazo, which means to vigorously train at something. Most of us know that exercise is good for us. That's why we work out vigorously. I'm sure I've told you, I'm part of the workout group made up of many of the people from our church and a few others. Our workouts can be described as vigorous, strenuous, stressful, painful, sometimes torturous. They're not easy. They never are. They're carefully planned, they're well-rounded, and though we jokingly complain about them the whole time we're doing them, we keep coming back for more and for more, because we know the benefits of it. Train yourself to be godly, Paul said. Keep coming back for more. Then he went on using the same word that Cognitive. He said, physical training is of some value, but godliness has value for all things, holding promise for both the present life and the life to come. So there are many benefits to the workouts we do, not just that we're keeping our bodies going. It adds endurance. So we can, whatever we do it longer and better. It helps us keep more mentally alert. It helps keep us more emotionally stable. And see, those are only benefits here on earth. They don't go to heaven with us. On the other hand, spiritual training, we take it with us, we go to heaven. And here's a question, I think it's a valid question. If we really believe that, if we really believe that there is an eternity, and that spiritual training prepares us to accept eternity, doesn't it make sense that we would be as much or more disciplined in spiritual training than we are in physical training? You know, we watch what we eat, we work out, we take vitamins and supplements in general, we try to take care of our health. We should be doing at least as much or more in our spiritual training, because it doesn't matter how healthy you are on earth. If you're done here, none of that goes with you. Remember what I said last week, people are reluctant to break away from their established behaviors and habits. That's us. If we're going to win this contest, if we're going to become and be mature disciples of Christ, true followers of Jesus, it's going to require that we train and we practice. Now, a second text comes from Hebrews. Now, in Hebrews, if you maybe you're familiar with it, maybe you're not, in chapter 11, it's a lengthy list of people who have had to compete, who had to battle against the world, against Satan, against sin, in order to serve God. People like Noah, Abraham, Joseph, the one with the amazing color green coat, and Moses, and Daniel. And then there are hundreds of unnamed people, men and women who were brutally tortured and murdered because they believed in God. And all these people won the contest. And after that list, all these folks who have fought the good fight, here's what the writer says. Therefore, in other words, based on what we see in them, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, we have examples of people who have fought the fight and won. Let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles. Let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. Let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith. See, the Christian life is like a race or a contest. And we know it can be won. He's told us we have a chance. And we have examples of people who did fight it and won. The author suggests 3 actions that we can take to assure winning. First one is to throw off everything that hinders or every weight. Anything that impedes you becoming and being a mature disciple of Christ. You know, when I play basketball, I don't wear blue jeans. Get rid of the blue jeans, put on shorts. I'm slow enough already. I don't need that. Blue jeans on to make me even slower. I want to be marvelous. And you know, one of the things guys tend to, when they start getting too heavy, they start to play work. We don't work as hard when we're putting on weight, so we knock that weight off and we can start to play better. The advice from the Bible concerning our spiritual lives is take off whatever interferes with being a disciple, a mature disciple of Christ. Take off whatever interferes with your spiritual lives, anything that keeps you from worship, anything that keeps you from serving God, anything that keeps you from being in His Word to learn to know His Word. Whatever it is, get rid of it. So what is it in your life? Every one of us has something specific. I guarantee you. 100%. We all have one thing. We all have many others, but we all have one thing that really gets you. What is it that entangles you? Is it laziness? Is it busyness? Is there other stuff that seems to matter more? Is it fatigue because you spent all of your time and energy on the stuff that benefits you here on earth and you just didn't have anything left to spend on that which benefits you for eternity? I was getting that stuff. Does sin keep you from developing a strong spiritual life? Does immorality or impurity or sensuality or bad feelings toward another person or strife or jealousy or anger or fighting or dissensions or division or envy or drunkenness or partying? These things are in your life. Get rid of them. Do you have habits that pull you away from spiritual things? Do you watch programs that fill your mind with foul language and suggestive humor? Do you go to websites that you would not want to broadcast here on Sunday morning? Are you working so many hours to pay for all the fun stuff that you own that you don't have time for spiritual matters? Do you watch too much TV? Do you play video games? Hunting too much, fishing too much, golfing too much? Do you have things in your life that cause you to neglect your prayer life, or your Bible reading, your worship, your Bible study? Get rid of this. In order to prepare for eternity, get rid of this stuff. Now listen, friends, you have to decide for yourself specifically what I'm talking about. Everyone has their own. But I think you get it. If you don't know what it is, come see me here. Get counsel from one of our elders. Let us teach you what you need to get rid of. The Bible says throw off everything, and the word throw off, that means to cast it away, not just to set it beside you so you can pick it up later. Get rid of it. Everything that impedes becoming and being a church like the Christ, a true follower of Jesus. The second action that he says is to run the race that God set before us. Now this word run is stressful, and it doesn't mean just to run. Okay? It means to run into something, like rush into battle. How many people have ever seen the movie Braveheart? You know those scenes where Wallace is running, he's leading the group, his face is all painted blue, and he's got a big broadsword he's holding up, and they're charging at the enemy? That's stressful. That's what that means. And what the author is saying is, run like that. Go after it. Go at the enemy like you're intending to defeat him. Run the race. Don't just run. Run the race that God put before you, because you could be running the wrong way. In athletics, there's always something. There's a field of court that is defined. Baseball has a diamond in the field. Football has a field. Volleyball has a court. Basketball has a court. Golf has a specific court. A horse race has a track that they're going to run. I hear this a lot. None of you have ever said to me, if you have, you'll know what I thought of you said. Well, I think religion is a person. And what people mean by that is religion is whatever I want it to be. I make up my own thing. I'll do it my way, you do it your way. Now that sounds noble. Well, I'll do my thing, you do yours. I won't hassle you, please don't hassle me. But that's not what God thinks. Because God has laid out the course before us. He has a plan. He has a will and He has a way. It's His game. And if we play the way He wrote it, the way He planned it, then we will enjoy benefits here on earth. We will also enjoy benefits in eternity. But if we try to play our own way, or if we decide not to play at all, because we want other things to interfere, you draw your own conclusion what happens there. The third action that this often tells us that we can take is to keep our eyes on Jesus. Let me share just a little bit about the most difficult experience in my spiritual life. It happened when I was a freshman in college. I'd gone to the same college as a girl from our youth group who I really looked up to, and I thought the world of her. And during our freshman year, she committed a serious moral error. She decided after herself. I was just totally disillusioned. I really struggled with the idea of even staying there in college because I chose it. Now, it wasn't that the college was bad. It was a great college. The problem was I had taken my eyes off of Jesus. And I focused on this girl from my whole life. And it turns out that she had some flaws. She wasn't the perfect Christian that I thought she was. I know now, you can do that none of this is perfect except Jesus. See, if I kept my eyes on Jesus, that whole thing would have been easy. Now, God did some stuff good for me. I'm so prepared to handle that kind of stuff. I've had many other trouble and things like that since then. But if I kept my eyes on Jesus the whole time, I never would have had a problem. Now, I still believe in having role models. I believe in what Paul says, follow my example as I follow the example of Christ, and I challenge our elders and our other leaders to be people that, if you don't know what it looks like to be a Christian, copy of me, copy Ben, copy Oscar, be like these men that lead. But it's important to remember that even the most mature Christian will fail. So that's what the Bible says. Keep your eyes on Jesus. Okay? Get rid of the stuff you don't need. Run the race that God gave you. Keep your eyes on Jesus. Let me share just 3 suggestions. These are just out of my heart. These are the things that the Bible is talking to share. Number 1 is make whatever changes are necessary in order to be victorious in this race, this contest in the world against sin, so that you can win that crown. You know, in this race, there's no second place. You're either win or you lose. Now, lots of people get to win, but you're either win or you lose. If you don't win the race, you lose the race. If you don't win the contest, you lose the contest. And what's the consequence of losing that contest? In the book, The Road Less Traveled, Scott Peck wrote, I spent much of my night summer on a bicycle. About a mile from our house, the road went down a steep hill and turned sharply at the bottom. Coasting down the hill one morning, I felt my cabin speed and ecstatic. To give up on this ecstasy by applying the brakes seemed an absurd self-punishment. So I resolved to simultaneously maintain my speed and negotiate that curve. My ecstasy ended seconds later when I was propelled a dozen feet off the road and into the woods. I was badly scratched and bleeding. The front wheel of my new bike was twisted beyond use from the impact against the trees. I had been unwilling to suffer the pain of giving up my ecstatic speed in the interest of maintaining my balance around the corner. He went on to explain that he learned that it's ultimately more painful to continue the fun of the speed than it would have been to give it up when you safely named the corner. Nobody wants to give up the fun things. don't want to take the time from fun things we're doing in order to attend Bible study. We don't want to use our energy serving someone else when we could be doing something fun with it. But if we don't, we'll eventually miss that coin. We're going to run into trouble. So we need to get rid of the things that interfere. We need to follow Jesus. My second suggestion is to work hard at whatever it is God has called you to do, whatever it might be. Think of the verbs that we looked at last week and this week: fight, strive, agonize, train, run. There's energy put into that. It's vigorous. We're giving it our all. Whatever it takes to do your thing, do it. I'll tell you something. Ben and I don't just get up here and talk each week. Writing sermons takes a lot of time. It's a lot of work. We don't just spackle a bunch of words on a page and form a sermon. And we don't try to consider Tim Keller's sermons. We're going to write our own. We'll borrow ideas from them, steal ideas. We're going to write our own stuff. And that takes a lot of work. Ask Oscar. He did a great job. You have to leave it. Oscar did a great job last night. He worked real hard. He knows. I'll tell you something. We have to study the Bible to make sure that we have it right. Because that's what we're doing with the Word of God. We know that. Then, we also have to find a way to say it so that everyone can understand it. And look around this church. We have people with varying degrees of education and experience. We have to figure out how to contact and connect with everyone. Because it's worth it. Because no one ever won a fight or a contest being lazy. We won't win this contest of Christian living if we don't work hard. So I say work hard at whatever we've got going. And then my third suggestion is take advantage of the opportunities that the church provides. Don't try to go home. That's why we have church. That's why God brought us together and gets into one body. Use the activities of the church to help you move beyond yourself where you are right now to become what God wants you to be, you know you want to be. I saw a post recently that really struck me. I really like it. I need to make a copy of it and have it in my office. Today I will do what others won't, so that tomorrow I can do what others can't. Becoming and being a mature disciple of Christ, a follower of Jesus, requires that we're willing to do what other people won't do. And that way we can be what other people won't do. Becoming and being a mature disciple of Christ is like a race. We have to run the whole race. We spend our whole lives doing it. Can't win on our own. With God, Holy Spirit, telling you